Imagine Dragons, thanks.
Hey, hey, hey.
How we doing?
Good, man. Doing really good.
So we just started with Demons, little snippet of the video, if you will. You want to talk about that tune? Writing that song? Coming up with that?
Demons is it's a song about, there being more than what you see at face value with most people. I think that it's pretty common to meet someone and judge them, without knowing their full story and kind of what is going on behind the scenes in their life. And that's what that song is about, generally speaking. And the video kind of shows that in a lot. We play. It's from, half of it's from a live show that we played in Vegas at the Joint, which is a legendary venue to us because we're from Vegas. So to play there was really cool for us.
That's at the Hard Rock?
Yeah. And then we kind of intertwined that with footage that kind of told a story. Well, a lot of individual stories. And then we centered the video around a foundation that we created for Tyler Robinson, who is a friend of ours who passed away battling cancer, and passed away fairly young at the age of 17. And so we were pretty inspired by his story and wanted to do something to kind of keep his memory alive and kind of the lesson that he had taught us about, being grateful for the life that you have. And he certainly did show us that. And foundation and all the proceeds go towards helping families pay for the bills for struggling with a child who has cancer, because those bills can just be ridiculous, especially in the States.
Yeah. Up here too, probably. I don't know, but down there especially.
Yep.
The Joint. Just cool venue to talk about. Why not bring it up? So is that a place that you always dreamed of playing in Vegas, or is it somewhere you guys used to jam around back in the day? Could you get in the doors of the Joint?
Yeah, I mean, if we paid $50, we could get in the doors. No, we definitely saw some bands there when we were growing up as a band, and we had aspirations for sure. I don't know if we ever...
We opened for Interpol there.
Yeah.
We opened for Weezer there in our early years, and so to actually have headlined there on our own, I think that was a moment in time for us, where we were like, wow, this is cool. This is a place where legendary bands have played, and so to take that stage, there was something very special about it.
Where do you hope to go now? What's that next level? It's funny because we were just talking before, and we talked about this on the phone a few months ago too, about just the trajectory of the band over the past year and a half, and what's up at this point.
Man, it's just been crazy. We're having a hard time even keeping up with what's going on around us. It's been a 4 year climb, kind of very organically, but this last year has been kind of this exponential, just rocket. And what's next? I don't really know. Right now, to even be playing this amphitheater run is pretty crazy, and to be doing this overseas as well, there's places overseas that are bigger than it is even here in the States and in Canada, and to see that, it's kind of mind-boggling, But it's great. Our goal from the beginning was to be an international band, and we were never happy just being a band of the States. We were so inspired by so many bands that, sonically speaking, that came from Europe, UK, and so
Canada, Arcade Fire.
Yeah, Arcade Fire is a big one for us. So to actually be able to travel to these places and bring Night Visions to all over the world. We're going to Australia now. We're going to Asia. We're going to South America, it's incredible.
Yes, I was just looking at the tour schedule over the next couple of months. Like, you guys are on the road basically until Christmas.
Yeah.
Literally all over the world.
Yeah.
So what happened? What's in the new year? Have you had time are you able to write on the road?
We are. We do a lot of writing on the road, actually. We're either writing in our hotel at night or on the tour bus. In the tour bus, it sounds like, if you walk in, you can hear like keyboards in the back, people in the front on their MPC or in their tour, in my bunk singing, and we're always creating, and that's kind of where we thrive, is in that environment of creativity. And but we're not, we don't have a specific reason. Like, we're not putting pressure on ourselves, like create a second album, blah blah blah. We're just creating and seeing what happens.
I was more curious because a lot of bands I talk to, some can write on the road, some can't.
Right.
It sounds like you guys have been able to pull this off even through all the hecticness.
Yeah, I think we find a lot of inspiration on the road because you're having incredible experiences. You're seeing new cultures. You're also going through maybe some mental hardships and great moments. It's a little bit of everything because it's just so crazy, and your life is so crazy that you want to document that because it's such a big part of our life, and we want to document that in the music. And so I think the best way to do that is to do it in the moment, to go home the night after you play Japan for the first time and write a song that, from the inspiration that you found in Japan.
Do you guys write together?
Yeah, Wayne and I are kind of the primary. We do the work from the groundwork. So Wayne will either create a demo or a guitar riff, and he'll send it to me, and I write all the lyrics and melody, or I'll have a demo and I'll write on it, and then we bring it to the rest of the band, and then we kind of put it in the live band setting. But yeah, it always starts on Wayne or my laptop, kind of.
And I can't remember who said this last. Oh, it must have been you because I only talked to you before. that he's the perfectionist, a little over analytical, and you're the more spur of the moment.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the Lennon-McCartney relationship in a way.
Yeah, I think we really balance each other out well in that fact. I think that Wayne he definitely is a perfectionist and more methodical and slow, and I can sometimes be a little hasty and just kind of in the moment. And
That's good though, because if it was just me, then I would never get any songs done. I'd always just be working on a song because it's not ready yet. So it's good that he's around to actually finish a song.
How do you know when a song is done? You have to give it to him and say.
Well, from a production standpoint, I mean, we throw as much of it at the wall as it will stick, really. I mean, stuff's just sort of, we have to peel stuff away. We throw as much at it as we can, and then when it feels like too much, we actually peel stuff back. Is usually what happens, rather than adding and adding. It's just like...
We're definitely big fans of the editing process. We believe in creating, editing, recreating, and that's always been, Night Visions, there was like over 100 demos that we had that went into kind of the catalog of what could be on Night Visions, and then we peeled that back to 50, and then we played around with those songs and traded them up, and then we peeled that back to 20, and then recorded 20 in the studio, and then from that ended up being what made the album, which was like, I don't know, 12 songs or something. And so we really believe in creating.
What song went through the most revisions? Like arrangement changes and everything? Like what took the longest to make work?
Yeah, that one. And I was also thinking just the other day about It's Time and how that whole thing happened. I remember I was just remembering this. The first demo had the lyrics from Amsterdam.
Yeah.
And the chorus was It's Time. So that was the very first demo that you wrote, and we decided to actually rewrite the verses to It's Time. And then we used those verses for Amsterdam. Use that for Amsterdam, wrote a new chorus for Amsterdam. So that's pretty typical. Like we just kind of that's a good example of the editing process for us. Nothing's ever done until it's done. So we try out all sorts of things.
Is this the demo with the kitchen hand claps that made it on the record?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's what we talked about last time.
Yeah, still the demo is floating around somewhere. That original demo you wrote
on my computer somewhere.
What do I want to talk about? Ben getting into trouble. Last time we talked, was punched in Norway or something. So what is the most recent Ben story?
What isn't? I mean, he took like one of our fog machines and let it off in some restaurant.
Oh, that's a good one.
Out. Because it was a non-smoking restaurant, he thought it'd be funny to put a fog machine off.
He put it under the table that he was eating at, so whenever the waitress would leave, he would push the button with his foot.
And
they thought it was a fire or something. It was not great.
Climbed hotels in Vegas, went to jail for that. Every time we cross over to Canada, it's like, it's funny this time. They called our drummer in, like they stopped the bus.
At customs?
Yeah, and called our drummer in, and they were like, I'm not gonna get into specifics, but they were like, so you blah, 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 in, 01 or something. And he was like, no, I didn't. And they were like, yes, you did. And he was like, no, I didn't. And he knew very well that they had accidentally pulled up Ben's record in place of him, but he didn't put him on blast. They were like, well, it shows right here they did. And he was like, no. And the lady was like, wait, you're right. Weird. All right, I guess you guys can go. And then he told Ben that, and Ben was like, woo! Could have easily been like, no, I'm sorry. You pulled up Ben. You're mistaking me with Ben McKee, all right? So we got in, luckily.
Yep.
But it's always a fight.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So what have been some of the highlights? I'm assuming Nashville the other night with the orchestra must have been pretty cool.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was fun.
All-time highlight.
Yeah, it was fun. Me and the drummer, Daniel Platzman, we actually went to school at Berkeley together, and we studied scoring and arranging. So to finally use some of those skills in a practical setting was pretty cool. We've been waiting a while to put it to use. So that was kind of fun, and it was different. We always, like Dan said, we're always going for bigger sounds, and so having an orchestra behind you definitely makes things sound bigger, which we always like.
Yeah, the real horns, and I mean, it was a special night. It was out under the stars, and there was a little bit of rain, and some of our family had come down for it, and so
it was special. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Is that the highlight of this whole insanity that's been the past year or two?
Oh man, it's impossible to say.
Yeah, I know.
It's one of the highlights, you know. There's been like, you know, in this last year we've played in Germany, Rock am Ring in front of 100,000 people.
Yeah, Red Rocks was a lot of fun.
We sold out Red Rocks.
Everyone says Red Rocks.
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
You know, there's been so many moments in this last year where we were like, this is the moment, and then the next day we're like, whoa, this is the moment. You know, so we really feel like this last year's just been incredible.
Cool. Well, we can't wait to see what happens in the next year. I got to let you go. 5 quick questions, 1 word answers.
Cool.
We'll see if you answer them the same.
Okay.
Road or studio?
Road.
Lennon or McCartney?
McCartney.
Lennon.
When you hear a song, what usually hits you first? Lyrics, melody, or rhythm?
Melody.
Melody.
If someone's never heard Imagine Dragons before, what song do they start with?
It's time.
Yeah, it's time.
In 1 word, Imagine Dragons.
Growing.
Yeah, it's a good one. I like that.
I think that's what you said last time, too.
No way. Really?
Or no, beginning is what you said last time.
Oh wow.
But that's the same theme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Nice.
Wow.
Well done.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Getting growing.
Thank
Get it
you.
going.
All right,
Thank
bud.
you.
Appreciate it, my friend.
Thanks, Wayne.
Thank you.